If you've stumbled across this reading, welcome. Take a seat and stick around for a little while. See if there's something here that resonates with you. This is going to be a reading. I haven't done a recorded tarot reading in a really long time, but I'm feeling called to start tapping into a collective. And I'm asking Spirit today to describe the collective to me. I have pulled some oracle cards to give me a little bit of insight into the characteristics of those of you that I'm going to be channeling for. And I'm also going to pull some tarot cards as well. So we are in Cancer season at the moment. So since the moon is the ruling planet of Cancer, I'm going with the Deviant Moon Tarot today, and a classic, the Moonology Oracle deck. I'm also pulling some cards from the Spirit Animal Pocket Oracle and the Wisdom of the Familiars. That's just the guidebook there. Okay, so sorry, here's the box. Wisdom of Witches Familiars. Everyday Witches Familiars. Sorry, that's something different on there. So right off the bat, before I get into tarot, the Moonology cards that I pulled for you, we've got Expect Powerful Change and A New Start is Coming. So that was the new moon eclipse and the new moon card. So new moon energy. I love it. So what I'm getting from this collective, which I love to hear, is that you have a growth mindset. You're not a stubborn person who isn't willing to change and to flex and adapt with the situation or the scenarios that life offers them. And that's really exciting. And I think it's great to have this new moon energy here, because it means that we can let go of old patterns and old ways of being, and we can really start to set intentions for what we want for moving forward into the future. So with the new moon eclipse as well, what I'm getting with the eclipse energy is like your skills and your talents eclipse others, and you might not recognize this in yourself, but it's true. So you do have certain qualities that just are unmatched and really, really rare as well. So I'm excited to see this, because it feels like the collective I'm channeling for today and moving forward as well, your life's about to completely change. It's going to be a 180 from, very shortly. It's going to be a 180 from where we're sitting, and it's going to start with something really small. So we've got a new start's coming. Expect powerful change. So for your everyday witch familiars, I've pulled the frog, which is the element of water, and it's a number 3. And we've also got the hawk, which love to see, love birds, which is a fire element, and a number 8. So those numbers might be relevant to you, number 3 and 8. So it's interesting with the fire and the water energy together. You could be, I don't know why I heard Sagittarius then, but I guess I'm getting like a Queen of Wands energy from you, like someone who's very, very magnetic and creative and has a lot of potential, and perhaps always has been quite attractive or being able to attract opportunities. And I'm hearing as well that the the downside, the flip side to the Queen of Wands energy that you're exhibiting here is that you can burn out really quickly if you're not careful. So you've got lots of ambitions and lots of talents and skills. Sometimes you can sort of burn through ideas, and I'm hearing there's two sides of this. So for half of you, you might be the type of person who you might resonate with both even, but you might be the type of person who is full of ideas, struggles with action, or you could be the kind of person who, once you start getting momentum with action, you physically cannot stop until you collapse from exhaustion. So that's the energy that I'm getting. So let me know if that's resonating. I've also got the Make Your Dreams Real spider spirit and the seahorse spirit, which says watch and wait. Really interesting. What I'm getting is this juxtaposition between the element of water, going with the flow, going with the motion, sort of like just letting life carry you, and also this sort of like inspired action energy from the fire. The watch and wait, make your dreams real. It's saying like there's a balance between like being able to sit back and observe the unfolding, the natural unfolding of things, and then also taking necessary action. So the difficulty is going to be in finding that balance. So you don't want to overdo it, because I hear that you've done that in the past. But yeah, the frog always represents healing to me, and I feel like this is something that you're healing through. Maybe you're healing through a recent burnout, or maybe you have recovered and you've now integrated the lessons. You've healed enough to know how to not let that happen again, which is really, really good. I'm also getting with the hawk, just this idea of like having the bigger picture and that higher perspective on life. I'm getting that with the spider spirit as well, like the beautiful intricate design of the web. I feel like your skills and abilities naturally are attention to detail, very detail oriented. And something that's shifting with you now, this new start, the powerful change that's occurring, is actually the ability to see the big picture is what starts to unfold. And I'm hearing the word surrender and the word trust. So it's like you trust that you know how to act when the time is right. You know how to act when prompted. You're okay with watching and waiting. You're okay with doing the dreaming in order to sort of let the universe meet you halfway, if that makes sense. That's what I'm getting there. Really cool. Oh, we've already got cards. All right, so I'm going to do sort of a Celtic cross style spread. This tends to be my go-to. At the center of your reading, you've got the Ace of Cups. Beautiful Ace of Cups. I'm feeling that this is a self-love journey that you're on. You have poured your cup out too many times in the past and you no longer do it. What I'm getting as well, like for those of you who have a menstrual cycle, you're really starting to understand yourself in that way, in the way that like current society isn't seasonal in the way that nature is. You're starting to respect the fact that for certain times in the month, you just don't have the same capacity that you do other times. You don't work on a 24-hour hormone cycle, right? Yours is like a 28-day or whatever hormone cycle. So this is about getting comfortable with that idea that the cycles for you in terms of when it's okay to just like step into that feminine energy of water and just going with the flow versus having that energy, that potential energy build up is what I'm getting, to then make action when the time is right. I think that's why I've been called to tap into the moon energy, because obviously like the menstrual cycle and the phases of the moon are really similar. You might even, if you do menstruate, you might even start your period on a new moon, because I'm getting the new moon coming out. So if you're aligned with a new moon cycle, pay attention to that. You know, like do some research around what's the best way to set your intentions, what's the best time to rest, what's the best time to act. If you can configure that, I'm really hearing the word configure, that's where you're going to find success. So I really, really love that. I feel like the moon is really coming through in this reading. It's like whispering to you. I'm even seeing that on the card here. The challenge at the moment is the Page of Swords. Page of Swords is like a very curious energy. I'm hearing though that what this is like you've got a problem with social media addiction. Like, it doesn't have to be full-blown addiction, but you know, like you find yourself like when you are in periods of rest, it tends to be the default, right? Like or sometimes it's not even your fault. Like it might not even be social media. Sometimes you just like, you have a very active mind. And so you're curious about something, you want to go like do a little bit of research and find out about it. All of a sudden you end up somewhere that you spend too much time on, and it's not necessarily what you want. It's not necessarily what's good for you at the moment, but it tends to be where you end up. And I feel you sort of like wanting to push back against this and sort of struggling with it. So you're a very curious person, someone who really loves to learn, but I'm getting that sometimes you can get stuck in the gathering information phase, and this might be what is causing you to stagnate in certain areas. But what I'm getting here, like with the cards of the of the new moon eclipse and the new moon, I think you're about to put that phase to rest and realize that it's okay to just get started. In your conscious influences, we've got the 8 of Cups. So this is just what I was saying. It's about like putting behind these old ways of being. I'm pretty sure the guidebook even says that specifically. Let me actually just confirm that. I swear it does for this particular deck. Yeah, the woman in red has abandoned her old ways for they're no longer relevant to her life. Exactly. Wanting no part of the past, she moves onto new, brighter situations. Change of plans, ending one's endeavors, abandoning old ways, and looking for better things. So this is very present in your conscious mind right now, which is really good sign. You're very keen for change. You're excited for it. You're welcoming it. The only thing is, I think, is it's that balance, that rhythm. It's aligning yourself to a rhythm that serves you. And this is very different to how you've been in the past, is what I'm getting. Actually, let's pull the past card. Past card is the 2 of Cups. What I was about to say actually is that in the past, you've molded yourself to the needs of others. I mean, 2 of Cups isn't bad. It's about like equal give and take, reciprocity, right? But it could be that in the past you were at the mercy of your cycle rather than in tune with it. The reason I'm getting that is because you can see she has her hand over sort of like her womb area there, almost like she might be experiencing some pain or some cramping or something like that. And it's like she's trying to meet this person um, where they're at, and but she has to sort of abandon herself or work through that at the same time. It's interesting because I just pulled the unconscious hidden influences and got temperance and felt the need to take like a deep breath. So if you're going a million miles a minute as well, just take a deep breath. Things are coming into balance now. And I think it's because of this conscious decision that you've made. And that's what's really great about this reading, actually, is that there is a nudge towards action, but it's also confirmation that sometimes just making a firm decision within your own mind can be the action. The action doesn't have to be massive. It's just a nudge of energy in a particular direction. Okay, for forthcoming influences, we've got the Five of Wands. Now, it's a five, it represents challenges, it sometimes can represent conflict and change. But I never worry too much about the Five of Wands because it's almost a pathetic energy. I think what this is hinting at is that when you start to invite big changes in your life, others who are not ready for you to move on will feel it and they might cause some conflict. Okay. That's all I'm going to say there. Like, I don't actually feel like there's much more to say other than don't worry if conflicts arise. It doesn't mean you're on the wrong track. It actually might mean you're on the right track. Remember this. The Five of Wands coming up for you in the forthcoming, the conflicts arising around you, petty everyday ones, that's an indication that this change is set in motion. It's happening to the point where it's being registered by others. You've done it. You've actually done it. Let's look at the advice. Page of Wands. Yeah, so you're really being invited to do something new and step out on an adventure. Something that's a creative endeavor or pursuit. This looks like a winter scene. So we are in winter at the moment in Australia. So that could be, it could be a winter sport even, like maybe you want to go ice skating or something like that. I don't know why that's coming up, but I was just hearing like the walking on thin ice saying. That's really weird. My stomach just started grumbling, but it sounded like a knock. It sounded like knock, 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 knock. I'm not sure what that is talking about, but it could be talking about like a gut feeling, like an intuition, like messages coming from your gut. The advice is if you feel like you're walking on thin ice with somebody, you have like the tools necessary or like the skills, resources, flexibility and adaptability. What is that word that I'm looking for? It's like dexterity? No. Ingenuity? Something like that. It's like resourcefulness. Yeah, I think that's closer to what I was trying to pick up on. You're able to navigate these sorts of things. With the the card representing external influences, or this can also be like perceptions from others. I've got the Three of Cups reversed. I feel like this is talking about some people in your life who think you're throwing away a reason to celebrate when really you're throwing away a way of life that just doesn't facilitate you. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. It's like other people think that the things you're walking away from, excuse me, other people think that the things you're walking away from are things that you should be celebrating having in your life, but you don't feel that way. And the conflict might be coming from a particular person who you feel like you're walking on thin ice with in terms of like trying to meet their expectations and their approval. But don't worry about this. You've got plenty to celebrate. You get to determine what you celebrate in your own life. And I'm hearing that you're coming into an era of celebrating more, making a deliberate attempt to celebrate things, even small things, and realizing that, okay, so in the past you might not have had parties for yourself, celebrations for your birthday, whatever, because you didn't think anyone wanted to come. So what? Do it anyway. Like people might come, people might not. You need to be equally as happy to celebrate yourself, no matter what the outcome is. That's what I'm getting there. For hopes and fears, with the Hanged Man in reverse, straight away, I'm hearing do not sacrifice yourself for other people and for their approval. That's what this whole message is about. You're no longer participating in self-sacrifice because it's only ever led you to burnout in the past. And then for the outcome, I've got the Nine of Wands. You might feel like the wounded warrior, I feel like this is talking about the recent burnout episode. I think you've gone through something that was really heavy and really difficult, and it's almost like you feel you have nothing to show for it except for loss, and there's an exhaustion here, like a deep, heavy exhaustion about like, well, I know I'm not where I want to be. Even though I've come so far, I know I'm not where I want to be, and I don't know if I've got the strength to continue. But you do have the strength to continue. This wand, this wand that is lit up, it is a fertile wand. Oh, sorry. You can see that there's like the fertile leaves growing on it. Okay, so you might only have one wand left, but this is going to be all that it takes to completely change your life. Okay, this is the Ace of Wands, right? So once we complete the cycle, we get to start fresh, something brand new. To some of you, this might be, I'm getting a specific message relating to infidelity. Infidelity, that's not what I meant to say. It's not what I meant to say. I don't know why that came out, but if it is, I'm sorry to hear that. What I was trying to say was infertility. Take that as it resonates. I don't know how to make sense of that in my own mind, as it is not relevant to me, but I was getting something about like infertility, like there might be a futile feeling around trying to conceive. If this is a baby specifically, it doesn't have to be. It can definitely be some other creative pursuit. Could be like a business or something like that. But I'm hearing that you might be at the point where you're like, what's the point of trying again? Because all I've had is failure. I'm getting that, like I said, this is a fertile pursuit. So you might be the wounded warrior. You might not think you've got a final fight left in you, but you do. And there'll be successful outcomes if you try again. Please just try again, is what I'm hearing. If you're not trying to have a baby, it doesn't have to be that. But what I'm getting is just please try again. The universe, spirit really wants you to keep trying. And it wants you to not be embarrassed about trying either and doing it messy and messing up. It's okay. It's okay to be imperfect, okay? On the bottom of the deck, Queen of Wands. Oh my God, I was picking up on her energy. So she is representing potential energy at the bottom of the deck here. So, like I said before, Queen of Wands is someone who is very much like an entrepreneur, like someone who's a self-made woman. She's all about creativity. She's all about leadership as well. And she's got to be careful not to burn out. So I think that's why this is coming up in the potential energy. She's not on the table yet. The bottom of the deck energy to me represents something that can be evoked if you want it, or avoided. It's kind of like, look, it's here, it's not on the table yet, but you have your free will. So that's what I'm getting there. There's a lot of creative energy happening here. Hey, is there anything else I wanted to say? I think I might actually leave it there. Hopefully someone got something out of that. Feel a little bit rusty, but that's okay. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.